Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla TV. We can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new TCX AirTech Evo GTX boot, available at RevZilla.com. AirTech Evo GTX. It is a mouthful. Thank you, TCX. Let me demystify it for you, the hardcore rider watching this video. If we look at it, this is the new version on my right, new going into 2016. AirTech Evo. So it's an evolution of the AirTech, which is going to be a 3-season sport touring, and commuting boot. And then there's a GTX, and the GTX is Gore-Tex. So it's got the waterproof, breathable liner, guaranteed for life. And again, Gore-Tex is the gold standard from a breathability standpoint. Now, if we look at this boot, and again, there are 4 key changes that they've made between the one on my left here, which is actually the 2014-15 version, and now the 16 version moving forward. The big thing to keep in mind, though, is the positioning of this boot, right? So you can wear this in a multitude of riding styles, whether you're commuting, touring, sport touring. Again, it's actually a stiffer sole than you might expect. But the difference between this boot and something like the X5 Evo GTX in the TCX line is this is going to be really 3-season warm weather, and the theme here is comfort. So instead of using a lot of leather on the exterior, they're using a lot of Cordura mesh, still very durable, but over top of that Gore-Tex liner, it's going to promote more air hitting the membrane and allowing a very sweaty foot to breathe that much better. So you think about summer weight boots. You can do vented, but it's not waterproof. This is a waterproof, breathable boot, and by not doing full leather, it actually allows your foot to perspire and allows more of that sweat to go out through the membrane and evaporate out. That's why you're using the major cutaways. Now, I would consider it spring, summer, fall orientation. If I want, and I want 4-season functionality in the same vein, in the same price range, look at the X5 Evo. That's gonna be your Gore-Tex with full leather, which really is gonna breathe slightly less well, but will give you that wintertime riding scenario as well. So remember, 3-season hot weather, 4-season touring, and that's going to be that X5 Evo. And then there's that X Tour, which is going to be, again, that step up, which is a little more inventory. Now, if I look at last year's version here, again, still done in Cordura, new one's going to be Cordura. 4 key changes. The first one you're going to notice is they got rid of this synthetic leather. I say good riddance. I think it actually looks cheap. The new version is using this microfiber. It has an abrasion-resistant quality to it. And again, it has this pebbling, it has this abrasion look to it. So again, it's still going to be rugged, but in my opinion, it looks like a step up. The other thing, and while I have them both next to each other, you can get a shot right across the toes here. The toe is going to be a little bit more low profile and usable on the new boot. The previous version flared up a little bit as opposed to the AirTech Evo. This is going to be a little bit easier to get under your shift panel. The other thing that you're going to find here is more TPR. So more TPR throughout this boot. You're going to see it along the side, laterally. They've just beefed it up and made it more protective. And again, with the new AirTech Evo GTX, you're actually going up about $40 in cost. Still coming in under that $300 mark, but again, you're making an upgrade and they've increased the cost to go with it. My favorite thing, though, across all of the upgrades of this new boot, though, is going to be the fact that the ankle cockpit is tremendously beefed up. So you're going to see massive TPR on the outside and then a big beefy cockpit on the inside. Again, much beefier, CE rated around the lateral side of the ankle, along the medial side of the ankle. Again, they changed the zipper, it has some light stretch to it, but again, better protection scheme on the AirTech Evo GTX than the previous version. The other thing they changed is the backside. You're going to see we now have TPR that ratchets all the way around. We have that TPR TPU coming around, providing some abrasion resistant, and they gave you some elasticated bellows. So again, taking the old version and saying what can we improve, actually improving a lot and giving you a better boot that's going to cover the range. Now, if we think about sizing on the AirTech Evo GTX, American cut. No issues here, not for an overly wide foot, not for an overly narrow foot. TCX has been making a lot of boots for the American rider for a long time. You shouldn't have any issues. And I would consider the arch support in this guy to be low profile to medium, not overly pronounced. The other thing from a fitment and comfort side of things is, again, stiff scale, you're about a 7.5, 8. Stiffer than you would expect. So you look at this and be like, oh, it's like a high top badass sneaker. It's not. It's giving you great touring protection and giving you great shock absorbing support. So again, for a longer ride, you're going to be well supported in this bad boy. Keep that in mind. Use the size chart. No surprises there. We'll ship for free over 39 bucks if you're concerned about the sizing. And remember, as I walk through some of the other nuances here, I'd love it if you would click our logo, subscribe to us at RevZilla TV on our YouTube channel. stay up to date, and leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback on the new AirTech Evo GTX. Now, moving into the boot itself, we talked about the sole. Get a quick shot of the sole here, a little bit of an updated pattern here. Again, nice raise in the heel. We talked about the lateral side TPU. TPU now ratchets its way around. It's actually a rubberized. It's kind of that great mix between TPU and TPR. Again, has a stiffness to it, but has a rubberized feel. To your shift panel, elasticated bellows go up the front, again done in this abrasion-resistant Cordura. And then you move into the shin, and while it's not an outward-facing hard part, it wasn't in the previous version either, it is more reinforced than you see. A lot of times when you don't see that external TPU, folks are going to make it a little bit wimpier. TCX didn't do that. They really do focus on the protective aspect and the technology baking it in. Great design meets great comfort, meets great protection. I'm actually excited about the level of protection. It's not that full hard shell casing here, but it is stiff enough working its way from the inside. Now, we talked about the lateral side cockpit here, redesigned and exposed, and then moving your way into the back, you now have a popper reflectivity as well. If I open it up, you're gonna see, remember, it is Gore-Tex. There's my YKK zip going all the way up. There is a light stretch here to the zipper. You can see it moving there. The last version did not have that. And we open it up, there's my Gore-Tex liner. Gore-Tex liner coming all the way up. And again, everything about this is promoting sweat moving from your leg, from your foot into the liner, evaporating out through the exterior of this Cordura mesh material versus a leather, which would be one more heavy layer for it to move through in a different boot. And that's why they've gone with this AirTech design. Mixture of technology, mixture of a little bit of a sport flavor with a more contemporary touring style boot. You can see towards the top here too, that it's just, again, additional wicking that's gonna pull that sweat away, but your waterproofing really stops at that height right there. So remember, within the TCX line, handful of boots coming in under $300. Gore-Tex is a nice addition. This bad boy is going to cover you 3-season hot weather, but really geared for the sweatiest of feet, not sacrificing protection, not sacrificing waterproofing. As always, the next step in your journey is to click the info button on your desktop or on your mobile device. It'll take you right to the product detail page at RevZilla.com. Read other rider reviews. You don't have to take my word for it, but use my information as a starting point. As always, we'll ship for free over $39. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us on the YouTubes. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.